Hi Bitcoin friends, my name's Bitcoin Mamo, and today I'll be talking about the Bitcoin price action. I'll give you my analysis on the charts and possible trade setups. So just looking on the first chart here, we can see we had this big run up and then we've been in this triangle pattern for about 3 weeks now. So we did have this fake out just the other day and then we've come back down into the triangle. So my prediction for this is that we'll possibly break down from this triangle. So I've just drawn from here, the top to the bottom here, because we did go up, touch the top here, and then come back down. It's hard to see on this candle. So if we do have a breakdown, basically the measured move from this pattern is this line here, and it would take us down to about 10,060. So I've also done the Fibonacci retracement, which I've taken from this level here all the way up to the top, and we can see that the golden pocket range here, the 0.618 to the 0.65 level, corresponds with the drop if we drop at this point in the triangle. I've taken the fib retracement from this point because this is the lowest point on the stochastic RSI, so we can see sort of that's the lowest point, and then I think we'll come back down below these points a bit further, causing this drop here. Another thing that might correspond with this level is these 100 moving average and the 100 exponential moving average, which we can see sort of approaching these levels here. So if it does break here, we might bounce off of these levels here, these orange lines. If we look back on the chart, we can see sort of we're having trouble to sort of break this 12,000 range clearly. Like we did break it, but we've come back down. We did break it, came back down 2 other times. If we sort of zoom back, we can see that it sort of corresponds with previous occasions where we didn't get past that level. So we can see back here in August of last year, sort of we broke above 12,000, came back down, acted as resistance. Also during these times back in June, we broke above, came back down, broke above, came back down. So this is the key level, this 12,000 resistance zone. So here's the Bitcoin chart again. It's got the same fib retracement and the same 100 moving average, exponential moving average, and the golden pocket range. And I've added the Ichimoku cloud, and we can see it's changing from green to red in this zone where we've started to sort of having this drop. So I think if we are going to come down to this level, perhaps it's going to happen in this sort of time frame. So this is 22nd of August in a couple of days. So sometime between the 22nd and maybe the 24th, we'll possibly have this drop. Fill the golden pocket zone here with a candle, and also correspond with their moving averages. Just looking at the stock market also, we can see that the stock market's all-time high was here, and then we had the big stock market crash. We've recovered, and right at this very moment we're pretty much matching the all-time high. So quite often when we come back up to an all-time high, we do get some resistance. So I'm expecting maybe the stock market might have a drop, and that will correspond with Bitcoin drop also. As Bitcoin does like to follow the stock market, it did drop massively when we dropped here, and it also recovered very similarly, a lot stronger, but yeah, it does follow this. So here's another chart of the Bitcoin price on Coinbase. This is on the weekly time frame. So just doing a fib retracement on this one from the top back in June of 2019 to the bottom of the crash, and we can see that the this is drawn upside down, but this is basically the 0.382 level. We can see that that corresponds also with this range of $10,000 to 10.4 on this chart, but the lower range, the 382, is at 10,000, 10,050. And also the weekly EMA ribbon is coming up to meet this level, so we may drop down and get support off this weekly ribbon. So just pulling up the Bitcoin CME futures chart, and I've just drawn this triangle. I haven't found many people looking at this on YouTube, so I thought this was quite interesting. We can see the Bitcoin CME futures started at the peak at the end of 2017 around that $20,000 level, and basically we had the big drop. We came back up and we got resistance again. So I've just drawn a trend line at the top of this resistance level, also hitting this resistance at in June of 2019. And we can see, if you're looking at it on this chart, we haven't quite broken this major triangle. So we can see that we did go above it, and then we've got pulled back quite quickly. So I think that we may come back down on this futures chart. This orange line corresponds to the futures gap. So we can see here the gap, which was created back at the end of July. And I think we'll probably come down to fill this gap. Also corresponds with the weekly EMA ribbon. So I think this will happen quite soon, because we also have this trend line of support coming from the bottom here of the bull market back at Christmas time in 2018. Just lining up these candles, also got support here and also acted as support here before we bounced up. So to close this gap, sort of, this would have to not break this trend line at the same time. This would have to happen sometime before the middle of September. But I think it might happen a bit sooner. I think it's probably going to happen in the next week or so. And we can see it corresponds with the 61.8 level, also taking the fib from here to here. So you might be thinking, well, for this to fill this gap, we have to come down to 9.7. But on the other charts, I was saying 10.1, 10.2, or 10,000 range. Well, the difference between these two is they don't have to be the same price. There could be a difference between them, and I'll just show you that. So this chart here is basically the Bitcoin futures price, the CME futures, minus the Bitcoin spot price on Coinbase. So this orange line is basically the zero level, where there's no difference between futures and spot price, which is basically where we are at the moment. But we can see we have these big swings. So back here, there was a $370 price difference between the futures and the spot price. So it's not out of the question for the Bitcoin price to come down to around 10.1, 10.2 on the Coinbase chart on the spot price, but also fill that gap down at 9.7. If we just go back a bit further, you can see how big this can sort of happen. This is down $650 difference between futures and spot. So I've just sort of tried to draw a trend line here, but perhaps we'll come down and meet this trend line, and it might create maybe a $600 difference between the spot price and the futures price, and that would put Bitcoin around 10.3, while the futures price is at 10.7, closing that gap. So how am I going to play this market? Well, I am expecting this drop down from this triangle. So I do have a short in place just above here, where I think it might wick to, also corresponds to the top on here. And I will short it from here, try to get a short down to this level. But if I miss it, that's fine. I'll wait for the market to come down, and I'll buy back in at this 618 level to the 0.65 level. I'll layer some orders. I've got a couple of orders here already, but I'll probably layer some more. I might start a bit higher. Maybe the 10.3 level all the way down to, say, 9.9. And just make sure I get a decent buy-in at these levels, ready for the bounce. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Always play from a position of strength. Let the market come to you. Be patient. And yeah, don't FOMO into trades like this breakout, where it looked like it was breaking out. If you bought here, you ended up taking a loss unless you had a type stop loss. So happy trading. Thanks for watching. Bye.
We want your soul. Your house, your phone. 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 We want your soul. Your security, your sobriety, your innocence, your society, yourself, your place, your distance, your space.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.